Hello again. So I'm going to read another excerpt from Steve Sanchez's book, Spiritual Perversion. This is a book written by Steve Sanchez. He's an ex-member of the Spiritual Rights Foundation in Berkeley, California, which is a toxic cult, toxic church. And he wrote about his experiences there. He was a beginning student at the time, and he was receiving a psychic reading from one of the students there. So I'm going to read this excerpt. So we're going to cut in at the fourth layer. Okay, so in the fourth layer, he said, meaning the reader said, I see your heart bleeding. There's a lot of gray. The gray indicates fear. It looks like a lot of pain here because of separation that is happening between you and your wife. It looks like her family is really heavy in her space, and she can't have as much spirituality as you. It's a lot of her fear, too. She's afraid of losing you. In the fifth layer, I see a lot of indigo and a ship sailing the seas. It looks like you have a ton of enthusiasm and creativity, dying to open up and explode. Or explore, sorry. In the sixth, I see orange and brown. I see a lot of healing energy. I see a window that is dirty. A lot of your wife's and your family's energy is trying to block you from seeing for yourself so they don't lose control of you. But it looks like you have a lot of healing energy, and you are determined to see for yourself. So that's the end of the excerpt of that experience that Steve had. So one of the things that I want to talk about that comes up for me in this little snippet is during the reading, how the reader speaks is pretty much Academy speak. It's Academy talk. The words, the layers, the heavy energy, all the mentionings of family, of wife, not wanting to lose you, trying to put up some kind of roadblocks for you, trapping you. Let's see, a lot of your wife's and your family's energy is trying to block you from seeing for yourself so they don't lose control of you. Again, your wife's heavy in your space. Definitely in the beginning, when you're a beginning student, whether you're taking, your first class or a couple classes, or if you're a beginning student in the clairvoyant training program, there's a heavy emphasis on all the readers to basically tell you, oh, your family's energy is in your space, they're blocking you from your spirituality, and you need to cut the cords with them. Or there's this constant bombardment upon your psyche of these messages of your family is blocking you from your own good. This equates to the academy, the people of the academy, being trained to separate you, to pressure you into separating from your family, from your friends. Because you're constantly getting these messages that your family's in your space, your mom's in your space, your dad's in your space. If you have brothers or sisters, they're in your space. If you're close to uncle or aunt, they're in your space. And it's always a negative thing. And that's what happens at the Academy for Psychic Studies, Spiritual Rights Foundation. They're the same thing, but just want to mention it in case people don't quite know the connection between them two. Actually, ISHI Hypnosis is also one of the schools under the Spiritual Rights Foundation. They all kind of teach the same thing. The classes there, if you get readings from there, you will find this kind of talk. They're always going to talk about family being in your space. Why? Is it because family is always in your space and it's a negative thing? Is there something wrong with your family being a part of your life? Is there something wrong with family being concerned about you? I mean, I would think if you have family that they would be a part of you. I mean, I would hope that. Doesn't everyone want to be close with their family? And even if they aren't close, don't they want to have connection with their family in some way? But at the Academy, they want to replace your family with the new spiritual family. The spiritual family is the Spiritual Rights Foundation. So, that's one of the things that happens there. The last video that I did, I talked about a radio show that they do, Spirit Talk Radio on KEST, and all three of them in the beginning, all three of the people on the radio show, the ministers on the radio show, were talking about dissociating from people, how important it is to leave people behind that aren't in agreement with you. See, there's a theme, don't you? Quite a bit of a theme. So, basically, at the Academy, especially when I started going, almost every minister that was there, and there was a lot more, probably twice as many ministers as there is now, because a lot have left. So when I was there, I was shocked. I didn't understand it. There was a lot of things I didn't understand at the time. I began going there when I was 16 years old, so what the heck would I know anyways, right? But I was pretty shocked, being from a big family, and even though we didn't all get along, or, you know, we had, you know, there was a lot of conflict within the family, even so, we kept connected, you know, in some way. Almost everyone at the Academy, especially the ministers, didn't have family around. Or if they did, they didn't talk to their family. And I always heard that they were always estranged from their family in some way. It was explained to us, the students there, why this is. And the Academy's explanation for why this is because we, the people who go to the Academy, are so psychic, so sensitive. They're getting at your ego, right? Building it up. That you see things other people don't. And your family can't have it, can't have the spirituality. So they're getting in your way. About 40 different people I could probably name by name. They didn't talk to their family. Hardly at all. Very estranged from their family. Had lots of negative, bad feelings about their family. Thought that their family was in their way, getting in their way. Sure, some families do get in your way. That is very true. But at the Academy for Psychic Studies, this is raised up several notches, where it's almost like a war going on. You have to constantly be vigilant to get your family out of your space. You have to get readings and look at. People will just come up to you when you're sitting down in a chair meditating and say, oh gosh, you know, your family's in your space. Your mom's in your space. Do you want to look at? Do you want this cleaned out? We can set you up. And of course you have to say yes. You cannot say, no, I don't want to. I mean, you can, but who does? No. If you say, no, I don't want this person cleaned out, everyone will look at you like, oh, you don't want a healing? What's wrong with you? You just don't say no. So this is one of the tactics that the ministers use at the Academy for Psychic Studies to slowly, gradually get your mind twisted into thinking that something's wrong with your family. They're somehow doing something to you. They're getting in your way. And if you want to progress in life as a spirit and a body, then you're probably going to have to make separations on some level. And unfortunately, with a lot of the ministers, especially the ones that stayed there the longest, they cut all cords with their family. Very sad.